This episode is a masterclass in how to run a restaurant business, but more importantly, build a super powerful brand. A small truck side hustle exploded into 36 bricks and mortar restaurant locations, 500 employees, and over $60 million in sales. This story is about building a brand, mastering social media, creating scalable systems, developing team culture, and turning a restaurant concept into a powerhouse operation. This episode is packed with lessons you can apply immediately. Stay tuned. Omar, welcome to the show today. I'm so psyched you're here.
Hey, Roger, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
You have a fascinating restaurant story, and it all started with a food truck and catering. Pita truck, right? How did you grow from a food truck and catering operations to 36 bricks and mortar locations, 500 employees, and $60 million in revenue? That blows my socks off. There's a story there. Obviously, it goes beyond vision, but what did it take to do that?
I mean, it was definitely a long story. Started with Nita Pita back in 2016. I started that endeavor, my brother and I. But that got me all the way up into COVID. And when COVID came around, I ended up partnering with one of my childhood best friends, Mohammed Faraj, who's also the co-founder of the company Talkin Tacos. I had two pita trucks at the time. I was like, hey, Mo, I got this second truck just sitting here collecting dust. It's COVID, barely taking this first one out. Like, what do you say? Like, we do something with this. He's like, yeah, man, let's do something. We went to school together for a long time and we always, dreamed of working together. So this opportunity came. He was in school. He's a doctor himself. He was like, I don't really have much time, this and that. I said, hey, Mo, it's just something, let's just get our feet wet, do something on the side. I ended up starting as a side hustle when we founded Talkin Tacos, literally just as an experiment, just to do something together. Hey, like, yeah, pay some bills, we work together. And the rest is history. I mean, the story goes on. It's a long story when it comes to how it started. Started off really slow. We weren't really looking to make money off of this project. First few days, we're selling $30, $60. I'm like, yeah, man, we just hit our first $100. So, like, it was more of a side project. It wasn't really anything that we looked at to grow into what it is today. That started with Talkin Tacos.
So opening the first location, okay, you transitioned from the truck to bricks and mortar. You picked a location and there was a balance between, okay, can we pay the rent here? Is it a strong location? Is there good traffic? And then was the size right? What were the challenges with that first store besides some of the things I mentioned? Do you remember?
Before we even got our first location open, we actually had a big bump where we had a location previous to our first location in Miramar, where we signed a lease in Miami. That's a story of its own where it was a big failure and we never even got that store open. So we ended up with the little money we have left, kind of going back to our roots. We're here from, Broward, Florida, and we're living in Miramar at the time. And not too far from our home, we had a location that was available to buy as an asset sale. And I was like, hey, Mo, like, I know we have no money left, but let's just give this a shot. I know the first one failed. Like, we can't really get that open, but I really think it's time for us to be, brick and mortar and really be open public, 7 days a week from 10 to 10, just be that type of brand. And he was like, let's do it. So we ended up opening in Miramar, Florida, where we're from, where we live currently. There was like a local store. And that was the beginning of Talkin Tacos as a brick and mortar.
I was looking at the website and you've got what I call wow factor, okay? Because wow factor can be many things. And to me, when I owned restaurants, it was about everything. It was about the food, it was about the service, and it certainly was about the ambiance. But it's like the colors, the dynamicism of some of your stores. Is that your idea? Is it your friend's idea? Did you put your heads together and say, hey, this is a Mexican concept and it's got to be wild and kind of loud and colorful? I had a Mexican canteen and I did the very same thing. We painted the place crazy colors. It was purple, it was yellow, it was orange. It's like everything was different and it had a vibe with murals. Where did you come up with the branding? Because it's clearly a brand. Like all of that is part of the brand. Tell me about that.
So when we first started off, we wanted to be different. We said, hey, like, we're going to open something. We open a cuisine that is loud, a cuisine that is delicious,
What?
that's flavorful, that's going to hit you as soon as your first bite. And like, okay, that's one thing. We know that food itself doesn't really do as much as the vibe, the environment, the brand, like you mentioned. So we said, hey, let's make this place really cool. Like, what's cool? Like, dark vibes, black light, murals, Wynwood vibe. We're from down here in Miami. We go to Wynwood a lot, it's a vibe,
Yeah.
So we got a local artist to come in. We said, hey, we have these four walls. We have these tables. You have a vision. We have a vision. Let's work together and make this Talkin Tacos branding. He said, you know what? Leave it to me. I said, all right. So we kind of let the artist do his thing, his Wynwood vibes to it. We told him we wanted to do fluorescent lights on the painting so we could put black lights so at night really pops and it's dark in there and it pops and it glows and it just feels surreal. Like you're there, you're eating this amazing food, these birria tacos, you're dipping your tacos, having a nice bite, and you're just like, this is a vibe. This is cool. And something we really wanted to do as well when it comes to brand, we wanted people to know the brand. And I think to the way it looks with the food and everything, people just want to hang out there, take pictures, post on Instagram, and really get that name out there.
That is so killer. I totally agree with that. And I buy right in. Now, I've always thought that, first of all, I love your website because I think that it really draws people in. If you've never been to Talkin Tacos and you go to that website, it's, yeah, I got to go there because it brings the experience to life before you even walk in the door. And it's not only the vibe we talked about and the colors and the fluorescence and the black lights, but the food photography is fantastic too. Every dish that I saw just looks like I want to eat that. Great job on that. Let's talk about
Thank
your
you.
strategy, like what really works for you. And we're going to talk about the Miami Dolphins in a minute, but let's start with your marketing strategy. The number one way to grow your restaurant in 2026 is Google search. 70% of diners searching for a place to eat start on Google. If your restaurant isn't showing up when customers search for your cuisine, you're invisible. Google uses more than 90 ranking factors and SEO changes constantly. Big restaurant brands spend millions staying on top of this. Independent operators simply don't have the time or the budget. Owner.com is the solution. Owner.com helps restaurants get discovered by more customers and increase both direct online orders and repeat business with loyalty, email, SMS, and push marketing. For more visibility, more repeat business, and more direct sales, visit owner.com/rockstars.
Marketing, that's a big part of our co-founder Mo. I call him a marketing guru. He's that guy when it comes to marketing. I know in the beginning when we first started on the food truck, he was like, hey Omar, I'm about to spend $20 on Instagram for marketing. I was like, bro, $20 out of our budget. and now we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing. I think social media is our biggest, audience capture. Like you mentioned, our website has the food. It just pops right out. I think us, putting that on Instagram and people just talking to the people this generation, which is spending the money, which is going out, which is using the platform of social media and really bringing brands out there. I think that, having social media marketing, it was a big part of our growth and success.
Fantastic. And now you're the official taco of the Miami Dolphins. How did that come about? You don't just do that by accident. Like you're in the right place at the right time. You got connections. They love your food and they say, hey, how does that happen?
That came from building a really strong local brand. I think down here in Miami, I would say, I believe when you build momentum, opportunities just come. So I think we built a lot of momentum down here in Miami and South Florida specifically. And they just came out of nowhere. Got an email from Joe Sullivan. He was one of the partners with Miami Dolphins when it comes to bringing in partners, reached out and kind of said, hey, man, we'd love for you guys to be the taco partner of the Miami Dolphins. So I was kind of in shock. I said, Miami Dolphins, that's huge. It's NFL, man. Like, that's big time. And it was surreal. I mean, we took it. We kind of asked a lot of questions and they said, yeah, we'd love for you guys to be on first, second, third, four, be the taco of the Miami Dolphins. Like, you guys are Miami's taco. And that to me was,
That makes it
got
real.
come to my surprise.
It was real before that happened, but then that really, like you walk in there and you're like, wow, that is surreal unto itself. But what
For
a
sure.
full brand builder that is, right? For the whole, any fan, any one part of that whole South Florida community is like suddenly in front of this thing, and it's got to drive tons of business to your stores. The whole thing is just so cohesive, so it's awesome.
100%. I think I have lots of friends that also go and just take a picture, send to me. Hey, man, you guys are at the Office Stadium. Like, that's awesome. Like, yeah, definitely. And a lot of people, when they come to your location in the stadium, it's limited menu, of course, but
Sure.
we have branding in there telling us, hey, visit us here, here, and here. Like, oh, wow,
Location.
you have locations everywhere.
Yep.
Okay, for sure. You guys are next to my house in Coral Springs. I'll definitely check you guys out. I think that was really helpful as well by bringing the South Florida community that love football, love tacos, come together and they can find us anywhere.
Right on. So that's a big idea for sure. Did you have any other, say, big ideas that you thought were going to be like grand slam out of the park home runs, long bomb for the touchdown, but they just didn't work? Like it was a flop. Like we have successes, we have failures. Did anything not work?
Plenty of things didn't work. I mean, that's part of business. Menu items flopping, locations underperforming. But with every failure becomes a system, comes a lesson. You learn from it. I think without failure, there is no growth. Without failure, there's no success. To me, it's fail fast, fix fast, move forward. You know, you gotta figure it out, learn from your mistakes, and then grow from that.
I love that advice. That's fantastic. You mentioned the word systems, and I know that you guys were totally into building systems for all aspects of your company because you can't grow, you can't scale unless you got your operation dialed. What do you consider to be those most important systems, and what started it all? You know that kids often determine where the family dines out, and they want the fun place. If you're a kid-friendly restaurant, Grub Lab is completely reinventing kids' menus. Imagine licensed NBA, NFL, and Hollywood brands in augmented reality that brings the characters to life right at the table, and collectible menus that rotate every few months so there's always something new with your look and your logo. All just $99 a month. With Grub Lab, families stay longer and come back more often. It's a real loyalty driver. Go to grublab.co to get started. That's GRUBLAB.co.
I think to us, when we first started, one of our partners came and said, hey, listen, we're not going to be a one-off store. Talkin Tacos is going to be a brand. And we kind of knew that as we were in the food truck. Like, this is a brand now. This is not just a taco shop you just open in your local neighborhood. This is a brand. We got to run with the brand. And creating systems was our first thing. Off the bat, we're like, hey, we want to be a 20 plus location company. Okay, how do we do that? Systems, operating systems, financial systems, labor systems, and just learn how to scale these systems. We want to keep building systems to where you could just open, plug and play, plug and play, plug and play. And we built labor systems, inventory systems, training systems, all these systems to really help us scale. And I think without that, you would lose what we're doing on the way to 20 plus.
And did it take a while to get the bugs out of those things, or you didn't grow until you had them dialed?
No, 100%. I mean, we're still building systems to today, 35 plus locations, and systems don't stop. The playbook does not stop. We keep training going. Training is always new and improved. These things that you're going to need to grow. You can't just, once you have 2 locations, it's one thing. And then once you have a problem in that 1 or 2 locations, once you have 10 plus, that becomes a 10 plus location catastrophe. Without systems, we start getting lost in the sauce,
The team are vitally important. The consistency across all the stores. It's like the philosophy behind your training and onboarding. You mentioned the word playbook. You guys wrote a team training playbook. Tell me about that.
We wrote our own playbook. It's not like a genetic training, I would say. It was more of it is catered to Talkin Tacos. So that took us a long time. Till today, we're still adding on to this playbook. It was standing in the restaurant, we're like, hey, everything's going to be defined. How to make the food, how to talk to guests, how to approach problems, how to fix problems, how to talk to staff, from A to Z, you name it. Onboarding, certifications, positions. This playbook just has it all. It became really vital when we started to grow because of training. Now it's not the same systems of plug and play with. You just bring people on, oh, I'll train these guys, just follow what I do. That, that's going to die out really soon. But When they come in, they have a playbook, they read it, they go through it, they take a test. And you can't continue on unless you get a 90% on the test before you move on to the next. It's a whole process. So I think the clear expectations when it comes to how to, be a team member of Talkin Tacos, the playbook really is helpful.
Awesome. Do you do any mentoring and shadowing? You put new team members in front of people that have been around that really know the gig?
For sure. I think when we do new locations, when we open new locations with management, we hire from within. 90% of our staff is hired from within. I think we focus heavily on growth in the company. So a lot of people have already seen their mentor, it would be their manager, kind
Mhm.
of working as they, run an operation. And then as you want to grow with the company, and we're really big on growth, and everyone knows that, it's in our culture. I think it's really important for them to understand that once it's your time, when they see the growth in stores, your time is coming. Just follow me, and we'll get you there.
A lot of our audience are still struggling with labor and staffing and all those issues that come with it. This is a transient business by nature. Some operations do really well with creating a company culture and keeping people and retention, but then others have problems with turnover. Do you guys have any labor issues that you can speak to?
I think labor is one of the most challenging things when it comes to the restaurant industry. A lot of high turnover in the markets. I think with us, labor has been a lot less of an issue in the last few years. I think because of what I mentioned earlier, our culture is very strong here. You know, people, they focus on growth. People want a path, and we like to promote from within. So I think when they're on that wavelength as us, as leaders, when we show them that, hey, there's opportunity here, they like to stick with us, and we pay well. So I think that helps.
So you get the big picture, 30,000-foot view of all these stores. Do you ever get in the stores themselves and just either secret shop or jump behind the line and serve the guests every now and again? Just because one, it's fun, and two, it keeps you in touch with your customers and your guests. What about that?
For sure. I actually built a system with our internal office. 95% of this office that we had at corporate worked in entry-level restaurant position at Talkin Tacos. So they see that growth. But when it comes to working in locations, we're at every grand opening, holding a position. Everyone in the office, not just leadership here. Everyone at the office to kind of, keep culture going. Me, myself, hold positions all the time. All the partners hold positions. We built this thing where quarterly that we go into restaurants, kind of give some staff members a day off, and we hold a position. Either it's on the line, host, expo, you name it. Someone from this office is holding a position at least 4 times a year without grand openings. Just, you know, it's like a system. We kind of building that culture.
Fantastic. So you got a new team member, and before you recognize that they've got something special and you want them to grow within your company, you certainly don't want to lose them. It's so important to set expectations and somehow get accountability of the team. Is there a system in place for that, setting those expectations and holding people accountable to a certain set of performance and results?
For sure. When it comes to onboarding a staff first, it's structured. Everyone gets certifications. They have no certifications, no position. So first step of accountability, we set clear expectations. We have daily checklists where each manager does a checklist for the store twice a day. We do scorecards on them, and then everyone's held accountable for their store. So if it doesn't pop up by 2 o'clock on our system, we're going to get a notification. Notification comes in, Brickle, why haven't you sent in our chat? Brickle, why haven't you sent in the inspection? Oh, I'm on it. Okay, understood. No problem. You sent it 10 minutes late. 10 o'clock. Second one. Hey, where's our inspection report? So we're on it when it comes to every store, because the more you grow, the harder it's gonna get. And that's with our team. Of course, everyone here works together. We're not a one-man team. This is a big team that we have, and everyone works together to make sure everyone's held accountable, and we just keep structure going.
How about recognition and rewards? How do you recognize your top people? Does it happen daily? Do you praise and give rewards? Is there any formal program in place? What happens there? Ask any chef what makes a great BLT and watch how fast they start talking about the bacon. Well, that's why there's Smithfield Select. It's premium, ready to cook bacon that will elevate your menu and your bottom line. Because there are menu items and then there are menu magnets. That's Smithfield Select bacon. It pleases patrons while saving you time, labor, and back of house costs. It's thick, cut, crispy, and golden brown with a texture and appearance that make it seem freshly cooked from raw, but you can just heat and serve. Funny thing about bacon, guests notice. To order yours, visit smithfieldselect.com.
So we have a monthly recognition. It's a newsletter that we send out to all staff members. So they'll get it in their email, and it's gonna be just anything that happened. We'll put like the nicest reviews that came. Hey, Miramar had the nicest review that came in. Congratulations to Miramar. Hey, employees of the month, all stacked up. And why are they employee of the month? So I was like, oh, so that's what they did. I need that to, keep going. Got it. New additions to the team. There's a promotion from within. Hey, congratulations to so-and-so. They just been voted to our new general manager in our new locations at Boca Raton. Oh man, that's awesome. Congratulations. Like all that stuff. And then they could also send that messages to each other where they can congratulate each other and everyone's just happy for each other. So there is a newsletter that goes out monthly, and anything that does happen on a daily basis, if it's something that's a really wow factor, we definitely we all share a chat. So we could always send messages to each other and kind of congratulate anyone at the time.
That's team spirit, and that definitely speaks to your culture. Let's shift gears and talk a little bit about financial controls and KPIs, because that's so important today. Obviously, volatile markets and rising costs and high labor and all these things and shrinking margins. You need to maintain, if not grow your margins. So what are you guys watching on a regular basis?
So for us, it's more of not managing the stores. It's managing the numbers of the stores, just the costs, labor costs, food costs, sales per labor hour, average tickets, reviews. We try to keep everything really tight. Those numbers really tell you everything about the operation. It's clear when it comes to our KPIs and inventory and all that stuff that we're really tight on it. I think it's big. Actually, Mohammed had just developed an app recently that
Yeah.
we're launching very soon for Talkin Tacos, where it's focused on labor. And it shows us sales per hour, sales per day. It shows us labor targets, what we're supposed to be at. If we're at 21%, you're way off. We're trying to hit 18% labor costs on a weekly basis. And it shows you where you have to improve on. So I think really honing down on numbers, which is the biggest part of the business, is when you really tackle these KPIs that we have set expectations to our management, that they also get monthly bonuses on reaching these KPIs that we set.
Nice. So inventory, you doing that every single week, or is that on a monthly basis once you stay in your sweet spot?
So right now, inventory is on a monthly basis. We do want to move that to a weekly basis. I think as we hone down to really perfecting the system we have, we'll probably get to a weekly basis shortly, hopefully very soon.
I did it just the opposite. It's like whenever I opened a new location, it's like we tracked it every single week until we found, I love the word or the term sweet spot, right? So if you want your food cost to be, say, 26% or 28% or whatever is realistic for your cuisine, if you hit that 4 weeks in a row with consistency, then you don't have to do it every week as long as you stay in that sweet spot. So I think he's a little bit different than you did, but not to say you don't want to dial things in and make sure that they're just rock solid every week. So your store manager does that with a team member? Is it done individually? Are you using any software specifically to do it?
So the software we are using now that we onboarded with Restaurant 365
Oh, you are? Okay.
was very helpful. I think that's really going to hone us down to that weekly number that you mentioned. Before we were doing it manually, old school. We're doing it really manually. So we're moving on to more technology, more AI, more of where anything that can help us.
Yeah, I had Restaurant 365 and their CEO was on the podcast a while back. So yeah, definitely product there. Let's talk about AI. What are you using for AI? What's the big thing that's helping you improve your store operations?
But we're using it more for forecasting, marketing ideas, data. It helps us move faster and make better decisions more when we use AI, I think, combined with ourselves, of course. Is lots of different AIs that we're using mostly. I would say for forecasting. We give them a month's worth of sales from last year, the year before that. What is, sales going to look like? Maybe this. So that helps us when it comes to labor. How do we schedule our labor now? The forecast is this. Okay. Our average ticket is only this on this holiday, for example, on holidays. It helps us really hone down on labor.
Excellent. How about else? Some of the other pieces of tech in your stack. What else are you using? Point of sale, any other improved efficiency improvement type technology?
So I would say really important piece of technology that we've been using is more for scheduling. We use 7 shifts right now. That kind of helps us keep track of hours, how much you're paying in labor for the week, and how many hours that we want to pay. It's forecasted the way we set it up, and it's available for all locations at the same time. So with our master account, we could just run through it, look week by week, and see if everyone is on the same page.
Fantastic. So you're big with obviously millennials and Gen Z. Now, is that your target audience? Are you reaching like a broad demographic of your customer base? Tell us about that because the vibe, right? Miami is a loud, wild, dynamic place, and that is your locations. But are you getting a cross section of ages and demographics?
Yeah, we definitely do. It depends on location. So if we're going, in a suburban neighborhood in the middle of Tampa, it's not going to be as much Gen Z, clientele we're going to see. But I do think that clientele, the Gen Z, is very strong for us because most of our branding and material that we send out for marketing is social media. And that's where majority of Gen Z is on social media, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. So I do think that we do try to check the younger crowd. We're next to colleges and in areas that attract the younger crowds, but we do cater to all ages and, you name it.
So social media, right? Is TikTok the big thing still? Are you on TikTok and Instagram are probably the biggest for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say Instagram is for us is the biggest. TikTok isn't really focused on local. It really just kind of goes to a national level when something does go viral. Goes to an international level as well. I remember one time we made a video that went viral and we had people from India saying, "Come to India." We're just like, "What?" It doesn't work like that. But social media for Instagram, it's more targeted in your surrounding areas. So I think Instagram is our biggest bet.
So, not everyone is a social media expert, and there's a certain magic formula about, okay, what to post, when to post, how often to post, what time of day is best, what platforms, all that. Is that your partner behind that, or do you get involved in it too?
No, I definitely do not get involved when it comes to social media and what to post, not to post.
Yeah.
Partner Mo that runs the marketing, he's really on top of that. He has a great team behind him as well, and he's led them to really be on point when it comes to social media and marketing, to a
Yeah.
point where I'm not even allowed to touch the Instagram.
Okay, let's stay awake. Stay in your lane. Is that what they say?
Basically, hey, leave this to me. So you got it, man.
So, what's a typical day like for you? They're all different, but what would you say? Start me off on the beginning of the day, middle of the day. Like, what's typical for you? What do you do?
Every day is different. Every day is a challenge. It depends if I come to the office, sit down, go through emails, kind of work on what's in my email box, and then we work. I recently been working on the growth, signing, new locations, flying out to locations, really doing a lot of scouting. But if I'm not doing that, I'm in here building systems, going over KPIs, going over store to store levels, managers, talking to them one on one, going to stores, talking to them one on one as well. Really being there, being involved. I touch a little of everything as much as you possibly can in a day's work.
So, what's a growth plan? You mentioned flying here and there. Are you planning on going outside of Florida?
Oh yeah, we're actually right now we're in Atlanta, we're in Georgia, we're in Texas, DC, New York,
Oh, wow.
Carolina. So
Excellent.
right now a majority of our stores are here in Florida, but yes, our growth plan is to expand in those areas I've mentioned. We've have signed leases in Boston right now. We have signed leases in Chicago. We have signed leases in more in DC. We're growing
So, you're looking
strategically.
at mostly urban areas and big cities. Is that the thing?
Urban areas, big cities, high traffic, where you're gonna get a lot of high volume areas. Really copy what we've done for the last 30 locations. Trying to copy and move with that. we plan on doubling our size within the next year and a half.
I was going to ask you that next. Right on. You going to head to Southern California, hit some of the beach cities?
I think the West Coast is not in my foreseeable future. I think we're gonna focus on the East Coast right now and really just go up and down the East Coast. Kind of where we're comfortable right now. I think we stay and where we're at and kind of stay on the East Coast. Try to be East Coast brand until we go to the West.
Very cool. So the logo is fantastic. Do you do a whole line of retail? You selling a bunch of retail merch?
That's actually funny you asked. We've been working on right now just some swag and merch that we want to send out to our stores and either do it either online or strictly in store only. But we've been working recently on some merch and some great ideas. Mo's been running point on that one, so I'm gonna let him keep doing his thing.
Fantastic. You're also giving back to the community. You do a lot with care packages and medicines and all that. That's just noble and a great thing to do. Besides it being the right thing to do, it's also strong for marketing. So what are you doing? Like, what's the big picture there?
So a lot of our caterings that we send out on the house is mostly for schools and hospitals that we give back to teachers and the community that is always going to take care of us. So I think when we send out for a school teachers appreciation, send them out food, they appreciate it. They come, they all gather together and like, you know what, Talkin Tacos, we appreciate it. Our brands on everything, all of our boxes, all of our food. And then they become customers of ours and then they come to us directly as well. And hospitals, the same thing. I think targeting the communities is very important for us.
Fantastic. You got a rocking concept, and I wish you the best of success. We covered a lot of ground today, Omar, but you guys are knocking it out of the park. So I wish you the best in the future, and you keep on growing and you keep on the systems and just keep engaging and growing your teams. And I love to follow your progress. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks, Roger. I really appreciate you having me.
That was the Restaurant Rockstars Podcast. We appreciate you listening. Can't wait to see you in the next episode. Thanks to our sponsors this week. And we'll hope to see you next time. Stay well, stay tuned. From my experience, lots of marketers talk a good game, but they fail to deliver ROI. Zivzo is not just a full-service digital marketing agency, but industry pros that specialize in restaurants and a strategic decision to move your business forward. Zivzo excels in marketing, advertising, video, and animation production that brings your restaurant to life and enhances your brand visibility. Go to Zivzo.com. That's Zivzo.com.